This is the chapter 13.3 mechanical project 3 plate. It tells me from the book I should use line, offset, circle, mirror, trim, and array to build basically what looks like a plate. I don't even know what this one would be technically used for. It doesn't remind me of anything that I've ever dealt with or seen, so I couldn't tell you an application for it. But as far as breaking it down, it looks like as far as drawing it, how would I tackle it? It looks like it has a lot of symmetry. The left side versus the right side look to be exactly the same hole size for the bolts, same amount of longer elongated hole regions. There's 6 of them. You can kind of think of it, if I split it right down the middle, 3 on each side. It's also symmetrical vertically too. If I were to cut it in half, it looks like the top portion is exactly symmetrical to the bottom portion. So I can take advantage of that when I'm drawing. Hence the mirror command showing up in the textbook. I don't have to draw the whole thing. I can always draw half of it and make a mirror copy of the other half, and it basically finishes it for me. So I can use that, and I'll take advantage of that. Let's say probably horizontally would probably be my best bet of tackling it. So to take that and put that in mind, it looks like the total bracket length in the X direction or horizontally is 16.5. So half of 16 is 8 plus that half gives me 0.25. So 8.25 would give me the total length of the halfway point of the horizontal of that bracket. In my mind, I'm just kind of putting this together. So and why am I doing that? I'm only going to draw the left side of the plate. Once I draw the left side of the plate, I'm going to mirror a copy of it to the other side to finish off the plate. And it just kind of saves me drawing the whole thing out, which I could draw the whole thing out, but I'm going to save some time by using that mirror command. And since the book tells me I should use mirror, I'll take advantage of that to do that. So I'm just going to draw the bottom portion here. That is 8.25, I said. Enter. Go up 8. Enter. And then I go over to the right, 8.25. Enter, and I'm going to right click and push enter to finish the command. I'm only drawing, like I said, I'm only drawing the left side, and that's all I'm going to draw. All right, now that I have that, let's take care of the 2 circles that form on either side of the plate here. Looks like those circles have a radius of 0.5, so I'll choose center radius. And those measurements come from the right side of the plate, but since they're the same on either side, I'm going to take advantage of that. From the bottom of my plate up, it looks like there are 3 inches. So going from the bottom up, I'll type 3, make sure the object tracking point shows up. 3, enter. That places it there, and then the radius is 0.5. So there's that one. And my next one is 2 inches up from the center of this circle. So in this case, I'll make a copy of it. I'll select that object, hit enter. I'll select my base point to be the center, and then I'm going to move my cursor up and type 2, and then there's my copied version of it. Hit enter to finish the command. And now to trim that up, I'll select, using a crossing window, everything there. Crossing window is green. I shouldn't say crossing window. Crossing selection is green, going from right to left. A window selection is going from left to right, and that's blue, which you don't want to use when doing the trim command. Always use the crossing. So now that I selected it, I'll hit enter, and now I'm going to trim away the center parts and the outside part of that circle to show me the cutout region of the plate. I'll hit enter to finish the command. Now that that's there, next thing I got to do, I think I'm going to place the 2 holes to receive the bolt, like in this location here, and then this location here. So it looks like those bolts have a radius of 0.25, so I'll go up here and choose center radius. This is giving me the radius of those circles. And it tells me that the location of those circles should be from the bottom right corner here over 2.5 and up 1.25. So I'm going to let my mouse hover here over this location, get an object tracking point to form. Drag my mouse to the right. I'm going to hold control, right click, choose temporary track point. and I'm going to physically type in here 2.5, hit enter, puts a tracking point there. You see it green, puts my mouse above it. Once that tracking line shows up, I know that I'm directly above that temporary track point there. And now I'm going to type 1.25, and it'll place my circle exactly where it needs to go. And now I'm going to enter 0.25 as the radius, and then there's my hole to receive the bolt from my plate. Next, it tells me that the next hole, the one that's at the top, is 5.5 inches vertically above the hole I just made. So now that I have this hole here, what I'll do is I'll make a copy of it. Hit enter. I'll select the base point as the center of that bolt. And once I place it directly above and that object tracking line is showing up, I'll type 5.5, hit enter, and I'll zoom out. You can kind of see there's the hole. All right, and I'll right click to cancel to finish the command. Finish or cancel, either one's fine. So that takes care of that. The last thing I need to do is make there's there's technically 6 on the plate, but since I'm only doing half of the plate, I need to make 3 of those circles. The circles, well, I shouldn't say circles, 3 of the elongated holes, let's call them, in the plate. So the first one is referenced from the left side of the plate. It says that that first circle is 4.5 inches to the right from the edge of the plate. And that circle has a radius of 0.5. So now I'll choose center radius, and then tracking point with that form. Drag my mouse to the right. I'm going to hold Control, right click, choose temporary track point, and then I want to type 4.5. Hit enter. There's my temporary track point. I'll move my mouse below, and once that vertical tracking line shows up, I know that I'm where I need to be. And now, since I'm already below, it tells me that the center of that circle is 2 inches down from the top of the plate. So I'll type 2, hit enter, and now I got to hit in the radius of that. And as I said before, the radius of that circle is 0.5. So there is the upper top of that elongated hole, which is what I want. And now I'm going to do the bottom of that plate. So I'm going to make a copy of it. Copy that circle, hit enter. I want the base point to be the center. And I'm going to drag it down. And now it tells me the distance from center to center is 4. So I'll type 4, hit enter, and I'll cancel out of that command. That's the bottom portion of my elongated hole. And now I'll make sure that my quadrant's turned on, which it is. And I'll make a line from the left side of this quadrant of that circle down to the left side of this one. Hit enter. And also to repeat it, I don't need to go back up, and this is kind of helpful hint. I don't need to go back up to line and choose it from the ribbon. I can either right click and I can repeat the line directly from the drop down menu here, or what I can do is I can hit return again. So I'm just going to hit return on the keyboard, and it opens up the previous command. And if I get rid of this here, right there, you can kind of see it, line. So what was active before will be reactive when you press the return or enter key on your keyboard. So I'll go up here to this right quadrant. There's my right quadrant here. Right click, choose enter to finish the command. And now I have my elongated hole here. I just got to trim it up and remove those inner portions. Enter to finish command. And now there's my first one. So since I have this, I'm going to use the array. I could just make copies of it. Either one would probably be fine. Since it's only 3, I could probably get away with making a copy command. But the book tells me that I should use array, so I'll use the array for this. It's the same thing. I'll go here. I'll choose a rectangular array, which basically means you don't have to necessarily make them all rectangles. But I'll choose it, and I'll explain it here in a second why. I'm going to choose just that elongated hole in the plate. Hit enter, and it kind of already sets it up for me. I zoom out. You kind of see it. Here's the rectangular array. You can kind of see multiple parts to this copy. It's moving it to the right, but it's also making copies up vertically. Rows are the horizontal parts going across. Columns are what's happening vertically. I only want 3 columns, and I only want 1 row. And if you look, it makes 3 copies that are spaced equally apart. Now, to make sure that they're spaced the right distance apart from one another, in the book, it tells me that the spacing vertically from center to center should be 1.5. And it just turns out, for whatever reason, I just lucked out, I guess, the distance between them is 1.5. So I don't have to worry about changing it, but make sure right there that's 1.5. Make sure associative is turned off, which in this case it is, so we're good. And now I can close array, and now I made a copy of it. So that is the completed left side of my plate. To complete the right side, I'm going to use the mirror command. So the mirror command is right here. I'm going to select it. It's going to say, hey, select the objects you want to make a mirrored copy of it. So I'm going to select everything. Once I select it, I'll type enter. And then it says, hey, specify the mirror line. The mirror line, it doesn't have to be a line. It can just be a point. I want it to be the edge of this line here. I'll click it. And now you can kind of see it creates a mirror copy. So I don't have to make a mirrored like, mirror like only one side of the mirror. But you can, nice thing is that you can use the mirror at any angle. You can make vertical mirrors on either side or horizontal mirrors or whatever. But there's my mirrored copy of it. Once I get in that location, I click it. It'll then prompt you like, hey, do you want to erase the original source? I do not want to erase the original source, so I'll choose no. And there is my right side of my plate. And I have myself a finished Chapter 13.3 mechanical project plate.